and today you can call me Final Investigation Melty, because this VOD is the last VOD we will do any investigating in for the first game in the Ace Attorney trilogy. It's sad, right? It's sad, but it's sad, but it's exciting, because I want to know how this is going to end. We'll get our final little tidbits here and there, and the next one should probably be the finale. Can you believe it? I feel like it went by quickly. Nah, I like this game. It's fun. It's exciting. It's fun spending time with Feeny. But it'll be nice in the next game when we do it eventually down the road to be back with Maya, because I do miss Maya. Nah. So, you ready to do some scientific investigation? I'm sure we're gonna use more fingerprinting, luminol spraying. I'm excited. Let's do this. All right, let's do this. February 24th, 3:12 p.m. Wright and Co. Law Offices. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. That's right. The last time we left off, it was like such a cliffhanger, right? I'm sorry for what my sister said. I'm sure we're gonna get, yeah. I didn't even want to recap it because she's gonna do it right now. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. And then the court like freaked out and Miles screamed, "No!" And it was very dramatic, yes. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone here has heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. What did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. Oh my god! What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so Joe Dark really was a murderer then, eh? So that means you... Yes, I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. Okay, well, let's talk to her. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. This feels very similar to the Mia thing, right? Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. Permanent picture. Hold on, let's do... I want to, like, follow the storyline here. What did you see in that instant that the crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. Whoa. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. We've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. You were a little. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana could never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. See, so maybe he wasn't, nah. I feel like the detail about the lights going out and all that stuff, it could have been somebody else. There could have been more shenanigans going on. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about it when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He seemed like he didn't. Because if he knew, I think he would have been like, ugh, crap, she said it, right? But he was so like, no! Because then he's involved in that, and that he used that. I don't know. I felt like that was more of a personal thing of like freaking out about it. Although I think he has forged evidence too. Maybe just not in this case. Nah. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. So maybe he never has. I want to believe in Edgy. So the rumors were all from that. And that he just saw them as like, oh, they're rumors. I would never do something like this. But now the rumors are true, and he actually was kind of complicit in it, but he didn't know. Poor Edgeworth, man. If I could just have testified properly, none of this would have happened. You can't blame yourself. You were 14 years old. It's so true. So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Yeah, this whole thing is funky, right? I should move. I'm in the way. I'm blocking the face. I apologize. Neil Marshall, I apologize. There we go. Get back to my regular corner. I was trying something new. Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course, this happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. Why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective. Better have another talk with her. Alright, I think we're done here. Well, we're almost done here. How's Charlie doing? Huh? No! He looks a little yellow today! Oh, I watered him just now. I mixed in a lot too. Oh no, a lot of what? Mixed in what? Why, my very unscientific additive. Well, Charlie, you like it? Charlie says no. Charlie is yellow, Charlie says no. I told you, he's turning yellow. Dang it, Emma. Now I'm mad at you. Whatever, she was trying to help, but she needs to undo what she did. Because Charlie is yellow, that means he's not happy. Yellow plants, unless they're supposed to be yellow. That's not a good thing, eh? Oh, Charlie! Okay, because that's probably our last time we check up on Charlie, eh? So we're leaving him yellow. I don't like this. Is he in the second game? Maybe. Me getting too involved with the plants of this game is very on brand for me as a human. Lana! Mr. Wright. Seems I keep causing you trouble. Yeah, well, it's fine. Well, I mean, that's not fine, but whatever. Falsifying evidence! I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? Because we're not criminals, Lana! Because we're not criminals! What are you saying? Are you saying the bar is down here and we should just go all the way down to the floor to meet the... What's next? Let's just murder them? Not have a trial? Just go to their house and be like, I think you did it. Boom! Come on, Lana! Stupid. But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Okay. Lana is an interesting person, right? A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Can we talk to, like, Edgeworth? I'm worried about my boy. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? Nope. I don't think so. I believed in you, Lana. I believe that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. After that, at that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said? I think he's dead. I'm standing by my theory. There was a murder at the police department around 5:15, or maybe a little earlier, or sometime like that. Body put in Edger's car. She, for some reason, was able to, like, open this is where it all falls apart, but I think it, something. She was able to open Edgeworth's trunk, take the body out, and stage this murder. Like, I think this happened. She actually stabbed him. And, like, made it so she would look like, this is her repentance for her sin of doing the falsifying evidence. I think she wants to go down for this, and she's doing this for a specific reason, but I don't really know what that reason is. But I really think that this is Goodman's body and not him getting murdered. He's already dead. Yes. Lana, I don't understand. Why don't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. Were they, like, together? Is she, like, protecting him because they're lovers? I don't know. I get big lesbian energy from Lana personally, so I don't know if I support this ship, but you never know. You know what I mean? You never know. I feel like, though, in these kind of games or in any, like, cop, investigative, detective, if they're partners, I'm like, they're probably together. That's just the way... If they're cracking cases together, they're probably romantically involved. That's how my brain works. Is that true all the time? Absolutely not. But in my brain, yes, it is. Chief Gant, he was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever! They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're the chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Yeah, I think so. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes. Deputy Chief Gant and I share the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. See, that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Maybe they were together. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was their first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was a serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon, Gant, and Neil and Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down and then fled the room. How? Isn't there other guards guarding the door, like this dude right here? I don't understand how that happened, but whatever. This game, sometimes weird things happen. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Huh? Whoa, hold on. What kind of positioning is this? Huh? Because the person on the this first body person, this one is a Dark. And then the one with the knife sticking out, that's the Marshall's brother. So you mean to tell me that the Dark took it, they fell over together, and then he like, here, let me stab you in the back real quick. I don't know. That's weird, right? This looks not like he did it. I saw three bodies on the floor. Where's the third body? And smelled blood. 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim. Oh, Emma. I forgot. Emma, who had passed. Okay. And the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. Nah, sis, I don't buy this. I don't buy this at all. There's no way that Dark did this. Like, he might have killed people. I don't know his life, right? I don't know. But this is all weird. This does not look real. Everyone's unconscious. That's a little too convenient. With the lights going out, I don't like that. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all. Her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, hmm? I don't buy it. Yeah, I'm like Feeny. I don't buy any of this. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident, just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. How was he before? He seems pretty weird. Did he just get eccentric? And I feel like the cowboy thing maybe was always there. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Because I think it was Gant. I think Gant made. I don't know why though. I have no proof and I don't understand why. Somebody else killed Marshall. Why? Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. What if it was looking like it was Joe Dark, but then Marshall found some like holes in their case? They're like, wait, it couldn't be him because blah 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 blah. And Gant was like, look, I don't care about the truth. I just care about getting numbers and closing cases. And he was like, no, none of that. And Marshall was like, no, we need to find the truth. And then he's like, okay, you're gonna die. That could be a reason, I guess. I like how I'm convinced it's Gant and I'm just trying to like write it towards it being Gant. But it has to be him, right? It has to be him. It has to be. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The chief's office. Are we gonna be able to get in there? Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. How are we gonna get in there? I mean, sure, sounds great, but I want to check up on my boy. My boy! How is he doing? I feel like this is a big shock for my boy. He's gonna need a lot of tea and maybe some shoulder massages from Gumshoe name. No one's here today, not even Miss Star. Or us. I mean, preferably us. So it can be a romantic bonding moment, but, you know, probably Gumshoe, because he's like, he does everything for him. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. Got to find all the answers by tomorrow. I know we have no time, dude. First, let's go see my boy. Edgy! Where are you? Oh, frig. He's not even here. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here! He's being questioned by an inquiry committee. Oh, he took a real beating in court today. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. I guess we'll have to come back later. I don't want to come back later. Can I freaking do some fun things in here? Will it let me do the dusting now? It will not. Let's go. Fine, whatever, who cares? Alright. What's up? Was he always taped? His ear was always taped? Maybe it was. I don't remember it, though. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall! I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, sera! You never know when life leads you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy. Billy. Must be his pet cactus. Oh no! Water him! It's not too late. Maybe. Say, where? I feel like cactus are pretty. They're relatively forgiving. Where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. I want one of these containers and then, like, put some very surprising liquid inside. People think you're drinking, but you're just drinking, like, apple juice or something. You want some? They're like, what the heck is it? Just try it. And it's like sweet tea. I hate sweet tea. Or, I don't know, something that you wouldn't expect. Because the containers are cool, right? I just don't drink, so, you know. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Oh, he is going to talk to us. Okay. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife? With the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. Oh, what does that mean? It means there is a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with the forged evidence? I think we're also gonna fingerprint, because there's that little, like, gross stain thing that looks like a thumb. I feel like we're gonna fingerprint that, maybe. Or maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like, why is there a weird stain? Aside from upsetting me. The case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. Oh, let's do scars. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? I still like her little beret. It's super cute. I like it. She looked very, very good. If they did something to him too, the commissioner would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Oh my god, we have... let's go here. I got the looks, but he got the brains. I
think you guys look the same, so I think it's just saying you both got the looks, but only one got the brains, which is, you know. Okay. He was one of the best prosecutors around. They look the same. Just he has the little goatee, which, you know, we've talked about that. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he? Your brother?
27. Okay, I was gonna say, if he was 22 and he was like 13, I don't know, these people are always so young. He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor of that very... Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. All these, like, people in their 20s getting the highest honor and being the best possible whatever the heck. It's like, how long have you been doing this? Less than 5 years and you're, like, the best detective? I mean, it can happen. I'm not trying to say it can't. But normally, it's, like, after 20 years on the force or something. Or, like, I don't know, work experience? You learn how to do your job as the years go on.
The highest honor? You mean the shield thing? King of prosecutors.
How is this trophy, with it broken, going to... I feel like that has to come... There's a reason. We're gonna find out why that was broken.
Maybe it was broken and used as a weapon.
Like, maybe somebody got stabbed with the broken piece. It has to be something like that. This game doesn't bring up things for no reason, right?
What are you looking at me like that for?
That's an honor for a prosecutor. And technically, Edgy... I mean, he's supposed to be super smart, but he got this award too, and he's like 20, what, we're 24? Whatever, the point is we're young, and we're already getting these like big honors. It's crazy to me.
Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day of the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as...
That's right, it was the day of the evidence transfer. God, interesting. Cursed day. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered and the evidence locker was empty. Yeah, it's super sketch, right? The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She'll never be the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too.
Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out.
Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago.
So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
It was certainly enlightening.
There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy.
He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict,
but someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today.
I believe him. Oh.
What was that? Did you see that? It like flew away and then he caught it again? What was that? That was weird. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina.
Bye!
Alright, well. Was he always broken? Maybe he was. I don't know why I didn't notice. Blue Badger is still writhing around. Can we say dancing? Why do we gotta make it sound gross?
Oh. We're gonna watch him.
We're gonna watch him. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's dancing. Yeah, come on. Feeny knows what's up. Speaking of dancing, the whole police department has been dancing around like crazy since the other day.
Can I take out his batteries?
No, Emma!
I just can't help but feel he's going to do something naughty.
What? What is wrong with you? It's against the law to not like the Blue Badger. It's against the law. Okay, what's up? This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted.
That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying she did what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. That's a lot of chaos. I think festive is the word usually used for those. No, not for workers. And your free time, yeah. Workers, it's chaos during those times. Nah. Well, I guess it depends on your job. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Yeah, that'll be fine. Just use the connecting... Oh! It's not locked? Just use the connecting hallway in the other building and take the elevator up to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Well, that worked out. Oh, jeez. Alright. That was easier than I thought it was gonna be. Kind of anime office? What the hell is this? This looks like a church or something. This is a big organ. How many pipes is this? 400? Oh. Maybe that's why it's his theme song. It's supposed to be organ. Oh my god, this is a church. Whoa. Where am I? Girl, I don't know. It's very, purple? I do like the walls. But yeah, this is a church. In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Can you imagine having this kind of office? Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. Eh? They used to call me Little Miss Bach. Okay. This is huge. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. Don't... Okay, just announce that we're here. Girl. I could never remember where C was. Well, okay, it's fine. We weren't snooping or anything. Don't mind us. He has a suit of armor. Where are we? Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant! He put that paper he was reading on his desk. Oh, he was in here the whole time. Huh. I think if I could have any office, I would want it to be like a greenhouse. I don't think that would be the most useful, but I want it to be like, you know, like rich people and they have like a garden or like some kind of greenhouse room. I want my office, if I was like an anime lawyer or whatever the heck and I got a fancy office, I would want it to be greenhouse, like plants everywhere. Everywhere! It would make me so happy. So, Raito, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. Why are you always asking about swimming, huh? What's up with that? I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? You mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. Okay. See that big picture on the wall over there? Yeah, let me look at I want to get a closer look at it. This is the vase. This ugly, stupid looking vase that was in the locker that had the, what's it called? SL9. Oh my god! Wait, hold on. The vase, he so did it, right? Okay, the vase was evidence in the locker. And we were missing one piece or whatever. So that's point A. 2, this thing has a sword on it that has a tip that's similar to the tip of the sword that we have that wasn't matched up. What if it was that? Fishy, 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 fishy. That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Near Marshall. Also, like, I like how they moved this to, I don't know, it's weird. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. I listed the ways, Feeny. I got you. Gant team picture! Okay. Also, this thing has a freaking sword on it. I don't trust this fool, especially now that we saw his office. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh! But this office...
It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case is long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. He said no. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out, and I have a meeting to attend. Alright, so it wasn't that easy, was it? Looks like we aren't welcome. Yeah. Seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. How? Maybe we talk to somebody. Maybe Gumshoe. Gumshoe always helps us out.
I was talking about you. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe! Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting?
I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. I was just gonna say, but he was like errand boy. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop.
Say, have either of you two seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Uh-oh.
Edgeworth? No, why do you ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle's between you two in court. That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it was all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has a whole world off for his blood.
Oh no. Yikes.
Good old Gumshoe.
But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged.
That's what I was gonna say.
Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she?
I mean, it still doesn't make Edgy look good, but I don't see how he can be blamed for it. And people will talk and it'll be bad, nah. But regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, so his reputation is getting a bad, nah. Doesn't help with this, nah. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe for those who didn't like him. But now with this,
are there really so many people who hate him?
Yeah, what the heck, man? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. And he's gorgeous. There's no better recipe of making enemies. This is true. That is kind of true.
Hey, Dick, keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat.
Yes, sir.
You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir.
Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out.
Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him.
Also, Gumshoe is a very likable human, eh?
Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. He's very caring. He's a good boy. Yeah. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing.
Seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth.
Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl?
It said girl, right there.
Me! Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see here.
I think it had something to do with the murder weapon.
Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory, okay?
Well, hold on, let's talk this first. Jordak was 42 at the time of the... He was 42? Do you see the picture of Joel Dark? He looked not 42. He looks a lot older at the time of the crime.
He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing?
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. Oh my god. With his car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes. But it transformed him into an animal. Oh, that's how it works, you know. That's how all serial killers work. It was just an accident and then it's like a switch on serial killer. Yeah, that's definitely how it works. He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came up on the scene and he was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Yeah, that sounds believable. Seems he was a pretty careless animal.
Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
Ah, so he turned himself in.
Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim.
Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. There's something very, very fishy about that story, and it just is goofy even for this kind of game where a lot of goofy things happen. About this. Hey, is that... It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of? What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, it suddenly disappeared from the locker. And was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what the incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Yeah, that's what Emma said would happen. Well, what is it? Detective, quick before you forget again! Oh god, now we have to go and talk to him. Okay, tell me.
This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway. Take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it. Inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound.
Ooh. Did it match Dark's knife?
You bet. Down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it?
If it's money you need, you should ask Chief again.
It's not money, but it does concern the Chief.
His office is a crime scene, right? It's where the prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Come on, Gumshoe. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What? Really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. Can you look for us? I don't plan on getting fired because of you. That's fair.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
Oh! That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. That's good thinking though, Emma.
Oh.
So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind.
Ooh, I don't think we have that yet. But now what do we do? I feel like we need to talk to Edgy. Maybe Edgy can give us some fuel. He can give us something, and then we can show that to Gumshoe. Maybe.
I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is! He looks like he's writing something. Edgy! Oh,
what are you doing here?
I came to check up on you because I love you.
He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Yeah, I see it. Tough day in court, huh? Had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. We're all rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you.
Always trying to hide his real feelings. It's true.
Oh my god, even the flowers has a freaking cravat. I didn't notice that till right now. Oh my god. Oh, I like that. That's cute. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day.
Okay, well, it's fine. I wanted to check up on you, see how you're doing, let's see what's going on, you know, what's on the floor.
Wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Hey, crazy, Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him, I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's crawling to the ground! Hold on, first let me see what this girl's doing, crawling around on my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. No! Resignation! Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, Wright. I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I have walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I have walked hasn't been just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright! Please, you have to do something! This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. We're gonna show this to Gumshoe and he's gonna just like flip the hell out. His boy is leaving. He can't have that. You know, when I first played this game, I didn't really see any... It was all about Feeny and Edgy together. But you can make a solid case that Gumshoe really likes Edgeworth. Does Edgeworth really like Gumshoe? That's up to you. But he really, really likes this. He is so worried about him all the time. Always thinking about him. Believe in him. There's a solid case for, like, he might like him. You know? That's all. I'm good at finding those clues. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that shit, but it's more fun with Feeny, you know? Okay. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility is the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth! I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come down to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep his kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial and now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. Yeah, you know, that's what we do, because we love you. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But, Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's why my supervisors are I bet that's what my supervisors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists. That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given and prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture! Something seems strange about it. Yeah, hold on. We'll present that in a second. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning and then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This... Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to. That's right. I feel like he was supposed to come back because of the body thing. And Lana knew about that body. I don't know how they opened his car, though. Okay, show him the picture. This one. This
picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours.
Yes, you're right. It's got the sword.
I remember now. Remember what? That's what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story?
Sounds interesting.
Would you mind telling it, Tess?
It's simple, really. Contradiction? That's what the word's based on. Contradiction?
This word originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story?
Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake. You don't know, Feeny. Just say you don't know.
Very well.
This is so fancy. I don't remember this at all.
Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there were arms and there was an arms merchant.
That is a terrifying shield. I don't like this mouth part. Are those supposed to be teeth?
One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor.
Well, halberd is like a spear, isn't it? Kind of spear. I don't know what it was.
The second was a shield claimed he could withstand any weapon.
Wait a minute. You nerd.
Those claims contradict each other. That's what freaking Edgeworth's...
Oh, whatever. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right?
Anyway, as you've mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus, the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. Oh, the ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
I see.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
Me too.
That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield?
You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished.
Because it's evidence. It's evidence. It has to be. And he did it. It has to be.
Chief Gant. It's something like this name.
I think we're done with edgy, though. Pat you on the head. Good luck. I hope you feel better. Let's go.
We gotta show, we know what we have to do. Oh, okay, or we have to do something else first. What's this?
Excuse me?
Oh, you!
Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Absolutely not. That looks disgusting. That red peeking out in there. Ugh. I can't look at raw meat. Miss Star! I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. What? Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Oh, let's just move on. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't be all attributed to a mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Star's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago.
I don't want to talk to you yet, but I guess we'll talk now. I wanted to go show Gumshoe, but fine. I bet we finish up there. We do that last.
Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Really? You could have picked anything and you picked gravy? Ugh. Poor old Jake Marshall, though. Must have been going through hell. You could have picked, literally, like, you could have picked pho, you could have picked ramen, you could have picked soup, you could have picked anything else. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister. The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. Okay. The legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties, most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared to confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have even recovered from the shock. That's what it makes all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why. I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief. That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control. And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. Maybe that's why he wants to get Edgy out. Because he cannot control him. You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create a fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Okay, well, thanks! Bye! You have to show Gumshoe the thing. Gumshoe!
He'll let us in for sure if he sees this. He's gonna freak out.
Oh, you're back! You're still here! I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ! You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. I know what it is. He's not gonna be laughing and smiling no more after he sees this. What's this crumpled up piece of paper?
No way. Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? He's always serious. That's just part of his charm. I can't believe they pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice, too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I've made up my mind. But... Here, take my ID card. We can't do that if someone found out. They wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake! Alright, detective, thank you! It's very heartwarming, yeah. I want to look at his ID. Can we look at his ID? I want to look at his stupid face. Oh. It's not, I don't know. He's a very large man, right? It's just me. He looked really big compared to his head. Anyway, fine, whatever. Thank you, baby. Let's go. We got some snooping to do in here. I'm very excited. Alright. Here goes, Mr. Wright. Alright, here we are. There's so much to look at here. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek! Gah! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I feel like this armor with the little stubbly part. Maybe like somebody walked into that or something. I don't know. It just seems very strange to have. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah! Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point of us giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable in pocket. Hey, don't do that to my card! We crushed it? Okay, whatever. It's fine. I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. Oh, you really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Come, let's see what we can find out. Got a bad feeling about this. Let's talk to him first. That desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana on that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. It's weird he wouldn't move that furniture out, right? He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. It's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at his New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one's ever touched that desk. No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Well, we'll see about that. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came in here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes? I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be. No. No. Never. There's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, now then let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let that go. Sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? Absolutely. What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. He's suspicious as hell. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Poor thing. It's fine. Okay. First things first. I want to spray everything. I don't know if we can find something, but I sure as hell want to spray the house down so there isn't any blood on here. Because I just, you know, you just never know here. You never know what you're gonna find or not find. It's best to look. Oh, there's the blood.
Whoa, this area must have been covered in blood. Is this from that incident? It must be when Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
2 years have passed, so the reaction's kind of dull. So murder really did take place here. I think that would be it, right? There wouldn't be any other blood anywhere. Right? I think anything that was a potential weapon, he's gotten it out of the way. But the main thing is that this, there's no blood here. I think that's telling. So now, I want to use the, no, this one? Can we use the powder? No, we have to have something to powder. Okay, let's look at this first. This is a safe, isn't it? Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. Okay, so we should fingerprint it, right? A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. Oh, do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know! You want to try my birth date? It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Is it all 7s? It is. Just because it was the only number that was left, right? Bingo! Why would you make your freaking safe code all 7s? Like, you want to get hacked? You want to have people... Like, come on.
What number did you enter? Whose birth date was that, pal?
7s. The final ID card number on the record.
What?
The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean...
77777? That ID number?
I think you're the 1 7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number.
Say, anyone care to look inside?
Yeah? I want to see.
Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's a
the piece of the vase! A shard from a broken cup. It somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? It's the vase. Ugly vase. There's something else in here too. Looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think Chief made it the design? I don't think so. So, it's the shirt of Marshall. Maybe it's Gant's handprint on his back, or when he like killed him or something and he cut that piece out. Or took the shirt rather. The vest or something. Well, it was just a thought. Is that it? Is that all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with a handprint on it. And a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great, now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two... Okay, this is easy. Related to SL9 incident. Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective. Yeah, we can. It's this. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days. Kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar just a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know that fragment we just found?
You mean this one that was in the safe?
Yes, that one. That was in the safe. Come on. There you go.
Now as you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits.
Yeah, assemble the fragments. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue.
I can piece this together again. It'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. It didn't even... It literally just gave me the answer, right? There! It fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL line incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line. That's blood. I don't get it! Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Well, now what? We don't have the cloth, though, but whatever, I guess. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk! Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... The fingerprints! We can get fingerprints off of this, right? He put the paper he was reading on his desk. Oh, well, that too. I wonder what he was reading, because do we have his fingerprints? This looks like a list of evidence. List of evidence. In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Look at the case name! Huh? SL line incident. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about the evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long. That's right, I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. Half-sized list of evidence. The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. He's got part 2. What would the other half of this list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case! It would appear so. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do this again. I guess we can look at it, right? Oh. I thought we could read it, but we cannot, so... Wait. Let me flip it. Let me flip it, because it's always good to flip stuff in this game, right? Just to be safe. Yeah. Oh! See what I tell you? This is what Emma drew. I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew this kind of sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. I better keep quiet about it for now. What? Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving like that, Mr. Wright? Better not forget about this picture. Why didn't we just... Whatever. I think we should have just asked Emma, right? I want to use this on the phone. I guess we cannot do that. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations. First a pipe organ, now a armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What, you mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. Be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding this armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be. We're missing something. Organ is sure a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. It's on the 2nd floor, and this is on the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When a detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office and makes him listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's beside the point. Okay, let's... I feel like we're missing something. Yeah. Lana's desk. Always been a meticulously cleaner. Not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. It's the lady. The lady, right? Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in her memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends were made of. Does he keep it in memory of her or in memory of the crime? Shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred to the prosecutor's office. They're small picture frame. Hey! This is when Lana and I went to that theme park. Aww. Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor? I know, I was just saying... Saying what? Ever since making Detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. As long as he doesn't go crashing through that window and he gets fired. Don't say that! Well, now what? This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then we went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. But I never knew he'd be dead in just a few hours later. Gee, you think? I feel like we need that fabric thing from what's-his-face. Like, we have to get that, right? But how are we gonna get that? I'm so dumb. I had to look this up and it's so obvious. Oh, nope, don't go anywhere. I don't know why I didn't think about presenting. I was like, oh, we can't use it, so I guess that's it. We present this to freaking Gumshoe. What am I doing? Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, Detective. Alright, go to town, sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Oh, you're so stupid and so cute. Go ahead, take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. He's not joking, Feeny. Look, we're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, heh. I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't know. Can you get fingerprints off like a cloth? Like, real hands don't leave this kind of dirt behind, right? Can you really get a fingerprint marking off of cloth? I know how to do this, Emma. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over. Don't be so... Like, let's enjoy this moment. How about... Oh. Dusting. I mean, it's maybe some kind of, like, pleather or leather. Maybe, because he's like a cowboy, right? And those materials are more soft. So, I just don't think you can get fingerprints off that kind of thing. Like, how dirty was your freaking nasty hand? You know what I'm saying? Like, how dirty was it? Okay, I think this is good enough. So, blow! There we go. I give it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a cleaner result from this print. Let's try a different finger. Oh, alright. Let's try this one. That one looks pretty good, right? Middle finger. I feel like we're dusting, you know, when you dust your work surface with flour before baking something or rolling something, like dough. I feel like that's what we're doing. Or we can think of it as powdered sugar, which I love. Well, I mean, not too much, because then it gets kind of nasty, but powdered sugar is good. A little bit. Oh, they call it confectioner's sugar in recipes sometimes, and I get confused all the time. Like, can we just have a unified scent? Like, what are we calling this item? You know? Ooh, that one looks clean. Yay. Oh, Oh! It's not Gant's finger! Eh? Hold on. Whose finger is this? This is... No. It's Emma's! Eh? What is happening? I thought it was for sure gonna be Gant. But it's Emma's. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match! Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. How would they be Dark's prints? What is happening? Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What's the kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me! But just keep this information from Emma from now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. It looks big too, but I guess it's not. This is so weird. Well, was there any help?
Of course! Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence.
No, that's not very kind, is it? You knew he was gonna catch us. You knew he was gonna catch us.
In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat?
Eek! Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon.
Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective.
You mean me, sir?
Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, you in the coat.
Me, sir.
Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore.
But, sir... Now get out.
Yes, sir.
He was already struggling with money. Is he gonna be okay? He lost his job.
We'll be on our way too then.
Wait. You. The one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet.
Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet.
You with the spiky hair, you're free to go.
Mr. Wright!
I would not leave an underage child alone with this man who has some seedy, sordid something going on. I don't know about that. That feels bad. Oh, he left her, though. I wouldn't have left her.
Look, pal, if I told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits.
But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you?
I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with Chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day.
We should tell Lana what happened. Oh, we did. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. So he was thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning.
I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words.
Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous.
I just think Lana and Mia maybe should have been together.
It seems Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth, or at least Lana, had these feelings.
Nah.
Kind of jealous, wanting to be like her. But is it wanting to be like her? Or is it liking her? Oh no!
Something like that. Nah. Edgeworth, once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is just the term he used, I believe.
There's a chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. That's true, and maybe we can talk more and she's more open because her sister is not here. Right? This actually might be a good chance.
I have to admit I was a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person you in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of? What is this person's name? Well, Miss Guy? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago.
I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically hiding and forging evidence. I still think it's not fair for Edgy to go down for something that he didn't know. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. Oh, this, right? I found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece, and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of the evidence from the SL9 incident. Right? The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised, I cannot disobey the chief's orders. Even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright, you can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. In the murder of Detective Goodman! Or perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside of the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you are not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken. Oh, that's convenient. And I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. Oh, it's not convenient, it was broken. Like, I bet Gant, after he murdered him, he broke Edgeworth's lock trunk on purpose and shoved it in there and then just closed it. Although I don't know, if you break the lock, doesn't the trunk not close anymore? Or whatever. The murder weapon, you mean Edgeworth's knife? No. Well, maybe you can break it so that it closes but it just never locks. I don't know how to do that. When I found the body, this was a knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and I stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. Well, I mean, yeah. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that's the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Star, huh? I told you! Oh, this feels good though. Nah. Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right, and then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma. I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card. but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. I mean, it was kind of him, though. Like, phone call or not, he still was the one decided at the end of the day, right? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now, please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Yeah, right. Tomorrow's trial, there's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. This is so hype, though. Detective Goodman's real murderer. It has to be Gant. It has to be him. It has to. And what went down in that chief's office 2 years ago. It has to be Gant. This sword on the freaking thing. And the vase. Those are all big pieces to this. They have to be. This is so exciting, though. This is so exciting. I don't know how long this final trial will be. It's in 3 parts instead of our normal 2. But I feel like once I get on the trial train, I might not want to stop. So we'll see how it goes. But this is very exciting, right? I'm very excited. Yes, that's gonna do it for today. I really think next time will be the last time. I can't believe it. But this trial in particular, in some ways, I feel like I figured out a lot of things. So maybe it was less like twisty and turny. But it is pretty satisfying to like slowly figure things out. And you're like, yeah, I was right. Or like, I don't know. As opposed to just having it be told to you and you're like, oh, dang, didn't see that. Or something. It's exciting. I can't wait to find out the last little bits of stuff. Like why the vase broke and like what there's like blood on the vase, but it kind of looks like words or like some kind of, it looks like somebody tried to write on it or something. I thought it was red marker or something at first, but then they said it was blood. So maybe there's some like writing of some dying message or something like that. I know we have to move the vase, so maybe that has something to do with that. I don't remember the vase moving. I bet you anything Gant is gonna be on. We're gonna have to do like battle with him in court, like having him on the stand and like trying to find inconsistencies in his testimony, which I think will be very difficult, but you know, whatever, we'll give it a shot. I'm very excited. I hope you're looking forward to the last trial and wrapping this case up with Emma, Lana, and this crazy crew of very weird individuals, but you know, it's an Ace Attorney game, so everyone's a little odd, and you gotta love that, so yeah! So until I see you and whenever I see you next, remember to be kind to others, especially yourself. Take care and I'll see you later. Okay, bye-bye!